Hello everybody, today we're going to be talking about Final Fantasy Tactics and the Vision cards and Esper that are coming out tomorrow. We'll go over some of the banner types that might come out and how that might affect your decision making, but mostly we'll talk about whether or not the cards are actually worth it or not. Spoiler, they are! One important note about these cards is that they are from an era before we had elemental VCs. It means that the bestowed and party effects are not limited to any individual element unit, and that is a really big boost for them because you can put them into rainbow parties, you can put them onto just a mono element party that's not in that card's element. You don't get the bonus elemental effect, but you still get the regular party and regular bestowed effect. Let's start by talking about the Blades of Grass card, which will be given out on the first day of the collaboration in the login bonus. This card is awesome because it is an accuracy card, and we didn't really get a lot of them at the time. There's more options now, certainly, but for new players, it's a really good build because it's going to be your accuracy card for a very long time. And for all players, it's still a pretty decent build to just have that accuracy that will work for all units, but also just having a bestowed effect of attack up is also really solid. Now, if you use this with fire units, then you're also going to get 25% critical hit rate up, and that is a very powerful party effect. It's one that you will, if you're a fire user, then you're definitely going to want to max this card. We do get training bonuses, so you can get a bunch of, I think 75 fragments for this, and then you can also farm them in the Whimsy shop or whatever. Now, there is a global effect as well. If you equip this to Ramza or Delita, they are going to get slash attack resist penetration up and also slash attack up. And as we talked about with Ramza, if you can boost his slash attack, his light attack, his man killer, whatever it is, that's really good for him because it affects all of his skills, and that will help out because he needs attack and magic. Boosting those things affects both his attack and magic skills. This card, I think, will be good mostly for fire teams, but you could slap it on a Ramza if you're really trying to make him work, but you might also have the Scions card. He can actually equip both, of course, with one as a sub. I think that at the end of the day, most players could build this card and feel pretty happy about it, and you really do want to consider it strongly because it is limited and it won't come back anytime soon by any means. Next up is the Scions card, and this is a huge card. At the beginning of the game, this is one of the most important cards in the game, and it was very difficult to get into max, and now everybody has a chance to get it, and you have to get this. I really do think that pretty much any account should pull and max this card, and they should be not even thinking twice about it. Now, the only thing that would make me say no to this card is if there was a really crappy banner. Now, if there is a 10K banner where you can just get it, perfect. Pull for it, you're done. If it is a 2K paid, definitely worth it. If they did any other stuff where it was like, there was no pity, or if it was really expensive, we might have to reevaluate it. But this card is that good, and it's because, again, it's not limited by any sort of element, and it gives 15% agility up onto your party. And now a lot of people use the Black Rose Helena card as a staple, as a main VC, as a sub VC. This card is really good for the same reasons, but this is an attack card. It has 144 attack stat, whereas the Helena card has a 0 attack stat. This also has slash attack up on the bestowed effect, which can help a lot more units. This is really good for physical parties. It's good for mixed parties. It's honestly just such a huge pickup. Everybody should pull for it, max it. No questions asked. Now, it does have a light party effect of 35 slash attack up. That's really good for light teams, obviously, so another incentive to pull it. And of course, we also have a bestowed limited global limited effect, which is attack up and light attack up for Ramza. So obviously attack up is really going to help him with his his attack scaling skills, but also the light attack up, like I said, is really good for any of his effects. Even if they're magic scaling, it's still going to help him out quite a bit. This card for Ramza is good for another reason, which is back in the day, all cards had attack and magic values for the most part, whereas now when you get a magic VC, it often has 0 attack, or when you have an attack VC, it often has 0 magic. When you look at the Scions card, it has a pretty low HP value, but it has 90 magic still. So 144 attack and 90 magic. So this is actually really good on Ramza because he's getting both stats, which he really needs, but you also don't have to feel awful about it when you put it onto a magic user. If let's say you don't have the Black Rose card and you're kind of newer, then this could be just like Black Rose for a lot of players for a long time. You would stick it on an attack unit just because you want that agility, because agility is just so important. So I really can't rate this this card highly enough. I think that everyone's got to be pulling for it, and you know, if you don't think that's the case, I'm very curious to hear your argument. So comment down below, let me know what you think. All right, we've switched over to War of the Visions Calc now to look at the Red Chocobo MR card, and this is a card that you will have to pull for. It is an interesting card because it gives 20% magic up for the unit and then 20 light attack. So it is a solid light VC with some dark killer, high magic stat. It's not a spectacular card. The reason that you would use it is because you have a cost limited party that you're trying to build. But honestly, I don't think that this is such a spectacular card on its own, even though it's a very cool looking card when you look at the art. However, this card does come with an Esper. So the Esper is actually the real catch of this card because it's really nice. It's a cost 30 Esper, so it's a little bit less. Its effect is actually pretty decent, the evocation magic, just because it's a nice AoE with a pretty good range. And then of course, evocation magic is always 100% hit. Now, the other thing you have to see about this Esper is that it has 17 agility, which is like a really good amount. At the time, it was like a super good amount because there just wasn't that many Espers, but this is a really big thing to note, that you can get a lower cost Esper that still has high agility. And when you go to the skill tree, there's actually really good options for an MR Esper. So you have missile resistance, and you also have slash attack. You have attack increase, as well as some dark killer, dark resistance, and some, you know, the almighty bird killer, just in case you need some of that. But really, it's a solid Esper. I highly recommend it. I'm actually looking at the wrong version, so let's go ahead and hit the JP version, because guess what? This thing has 18 agility. It's even better than what I said. It also gets even more nodes. So this is really pro content creator stuff here. We get critical hit rate up, really solid to have on an MRVC to build a crit rate unit, because that's 15% right there. More missile resistance, more slash attack up. I mean, need I say more? You can really build this as a defensive Esper with some accuracy and some crit rate, or dark, you know, accuracy, dark resistance, missile resistance. If you have slashers in your team, you can build this as a super slasher, dark killer Esper. It's a really solid Esper. Now, here's the thing. I'm not actually going to recommend that you pull for this, because at the end of the day, you're pulling for a MRS VC and Esper, and that's pretty tricky to recommend, even if it is limited. It's so hard. It really depends on, you know, how flush and busier you are, and if you're also pulling for FFT units, you're really just hoping that it pops up for you. Maybe if, you know, you're going for you know, Agrius and it just shows up on a banner, because hopefully they're all sharing banners, then that would really be fantastic. Of course, if there was some sort of guaranteed banner for this as well, and you really like Red Chocobo, then you could go for it. But really, the way I see it is that the Red Chocobo VC Esper is a bonus that you might get during the tactics event, but it's not something that you should actually be gunning for. There's just better things to save your Vizier for, like UR units, UR VCs. All right, that's going to be it for this video. So just in quick summary, you should definitely build the Blades of Grass card if you are a fire player. If you're a new player, you should definitely build it because it's an accuracy card for you. And then if you're an experienced player, it really depends on what elements you play and if you have a lot of accuracy cards or not. Keep in mind that this is for all elements, and that is a big deal. For the Scions card, I think that everybody should pull for it, max it, regardless of what state of the game you are in. It is a very useful VC and it is limited. Definitely go for it. Now, if you want to pull for the Red Chocobo VC Esper, I recommend that you don't do that and just hope you get it along the way with any of the other units. And if there are any guaranteed banners for the Scions or Red Chocobo, you could then consider those, but I still wouldn't recommend the Red Chocobo one. We're really hoping that the Scions has a friendly banner for it. If it didn't, that would be the only reason I would not consider pulling for it. Otherwise, you should definitely go for it. Now, I actually already have the Scions VC. It is my single biggest regret in the game ever that I did not max the Scions VC when I had the chance. I really blew that, and I don't want anyone to make that same mistake, even if there are way more agility options now. To get one that is not tied to any element, it really lets you swing into other elements more easily. If you are, let's say, a heavy earth and ice player, and now all of a sudden you're like, okay, I could get Orlando and I could get lightning, and I would have a lightning team. It sounds really good, but you're not going to have that lightning agility VC that easily. It's not going to come to you right away. This is a VC that you can use for your lightning teams to give them agility. It's a VC that if you branch into a fourth element that you could use. There's just a lot of reasons to have it on your team. It's also something that you can stack as a sub VC. So let's say you do have a element, you've got the VC that gives 25% agility, then this Scions card could be your sub card to give you even more agility. And agility is one of the, if not the most important stat in the game. Okay, that's going to be it for me. Thank you for watching. I hope it was useful. You can let me know if it was in the comments. Don't forget to like the video, get the engagement up on the video. It helps me out, and I appreciate it. Otherwise, I was going to stream my VC pulls tomorrow. It's whatever. It is what it is. I am going to be chaperoning another school event. I know I said I was doing that recently. I'm chaperoning another school event. I'll be gone until later in the night. I don't know when. I'm going to get home tomorrow, so I really can't plan on a stream. So you'll just have to hear how it went, I guess, on my Discord. So with that, good luck on all of your tactics and Final Fantasy XIII VC pulls. Let me know what you're going for tomorrow. I'm very curious what people are going for. And then otherwise, I'll see you in the next video.